Hey there, welcome to Battlefield Hardline. I wanted to talk a little bit about the UMP-45 in this video, and I put together a few clips with some fun moments, some intense moments that show the effectiveness of this gun that I love so much. And a lot of people may stay away from this gun because it's got a slow rate of fire. It's only got 600 rate of fire, which is the same as the AKM, and everyone knows the AKM is an amazing weapon to use. So why shy away from a low rate of fire if actually the gun packs a lot of punch? And this gun has 34 damage, the AKM has 36 damage, so it's just like 2 points below the AKM, which is a very powerful weapon. And this has it's much more accurate. So the gun is maybe a medium range gun, but it's super accurate. So a lot of times I can even take people down on farther ranges by surprise. I mean, this gun has surprised me so many times, and I had some really intense firefights, and I almost always did well in almost every match with this gun that I was not able to do with any other SMG or other gun, because this gun kind of is a combination of lightweight, fast feeling gun, like fast meaning you can just run around fast and take people down with hip fire so fast that another weapon that maybe has the same strength and has maybe a longer range feels slower because you're not as agile with it. This gun is just you're just very agile with it. So in intense firefights I always prefer the UMP over like an assault rifle or even a carbine. I mean, look at this gun. I mean, it just is amazing. I love the UMP. And I've been using the UMP in many first-person shooter games, including Call of Duty, where in Call of Duty I remember it was one of my favorite guns actually. In Battlefield 4 the UMP wasn't bad, but it was unnecessary, like one of my preferred guns, but I tried it and it was a really decent gun there too. So anyway, something else I wanted to talk about while you just enjoyed this UMP gameplay here is, have you ever been super tired and tried to play a first-person shooter multiplayer game and you were frustrated because you realized you just didn't do as well, and it maybe didn't dawn on you that it was probably because you were super tired? Just imagine that when you are super tired, your brain is not at its 100% capacity. Your brain is not functioning 100%. That's what they're saying when you, for example, extremely tired, you shouldn't drive, because they found out, they did tests that when you're extremely tired and you drive, that's about the same as you drinking and driving, because you just have not as good of a reaction. You have a delay. And when I'm super tired and I tried to play last night, and I was just like, I was always like a tenth of a second behind everyone else, and I was just frustrated. I was like, I mean, just the other day I was doing a death kill ratio of 3 in the same map with the same gun. It was super easy, and then I was all of a sudden the other night when I was super tired, I was just struggling because I just reacted too late every single time. And that's when you just have to realize that when you are extremely tired, you just can't do as well in a shooter, in a multiplayer, in an intense multiplayer like a first-person shooter, as when you freshly you have slept, you're recovered, you're relaxed, and you're full of energy, and that's when you do the best. And when you can drink as many cups of coffee as you want, sometimes that doesn't help because your brain is just basically fighting you, telling you, leave me alone, I need to rest, And I just find that very interesting. And on those nights I usually wonder why I was even playing, and it's just my love for Battlefield that has me play every night. But I really have to admit, certain nights I should just kick back and maybe watch a movie and go to bed earlier. and leave it alone, because what does it do any good if you play and you don't do well and you're super frustrated and you actually really didn't have fun? It feels like a waste of time and energy. But you know, what do you think about it? Have you ever noticed that when you are super tired that you just don't do as well, or are you just one of those super energy bunnies that always does well no matter what? Or do you take something to give yourself more energy, like Gatorade and Red Bull and whatnot? I mean, there are so many things that you can take to give yourself more energy. I personally don't believe in that, because I know that stuff is super bad for you. The only thing I will ever, you know, do is maybe have a cup of coffee, but I usually don't drink coffee for the energy purpose. I usually drink coffee because I love the flavor of coffee, and I cannot eat sweets without coffee because I need that balance of sweet and bitter. For me, it's like I got this like gut cookie feeling if I eat, for example, chocolate or cake and I don't have coffee with it. I can't do it. I've got this like really yucky feeling in my mouth afterwards. The coffee just kind of balances that nicely, and so I'm a huge coffee freak. And yes, it's not for the energy, but you know, sometimes it does help, of course. But I will never drink coffee to game better or anything like this. For me, it's like, you know, I game no matter what, you know, and that's where this comes back to. I game when I'm tired, and I shouldn't. So I want to, you know, put this to rest now. I probably talked enough about it and bored you with it. I'm just curious what you think about that subject. Another thing I wanted to quickly talk about is, like, some people feel there are not enough guns in Battlefield Hardline, and I have to actually disagree. I find it kind of refreshing that there are not 50,000 guns you have to kind of decide over, and a million attachments and so many things. I feel like a simplified game is a more fun game. I never forget how Battlefield 1943 used to be such a huge success. People just loved that game. That was a $20 game, and it was so simple. You had one gun per class, so the whole game had not more than 3 guns. 3 guns, just believe that or not. I mean, if you haven't played Battlefield 1943, you probably will be like, what? And no, it really just had 3 guns. It had 3 classes, and every class had 1 gun, and that was it. So if you wanted to play a certain class, you were stuck with that 1 gun. If you didn't like that 1 gun, if you hated it, which I hated that 1 gun, I just like, I couldn't. I hated the automatic gun, and I don't know what it was anymore. Tommy gun or something like that. I forgot. It's been a while since I played that game. And I hated it because it had so much recoil, and you know, believe it or not, there was no attachments, nothing. The gun was the way it was. It was super simple because, you know, it was the 1940s. There was no fancy things like red dot sights and muzzle brakes and all that crazy stuff that we're talking about today, and everyone expects in a first-person shooter. It was just simply fun because you had a gun that was pretty archaic, but you had to learn to be good with it. And actually my favorite gun there was like a rifle, which is kind of like a DMR nowadays maybe, but again, it didn't have any attachment. But that gun was so much fun. If you learn how to handle it, you could just take people down left and right with 1 bullet. And I had so much fun. And you know, why did a game like this that was so simple, that had only 3 classes, only 3 guns, didn't have any attachments, didn't have any like perks and kill streaks and point systems and all that stuff they have in there today. It was so simple, but it was so successful. You know, sometimes you wonder. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope to see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.